Where the hell did CC go? My car's gone. All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Bad Luck Garage, and we are missing Chaos Theory. So some of you may get excited about this point because what's actually going on, we've got CC loaded on the trailer and it's time to start the turbo build. That's right, guys, we got Uncle Ray over here. After a day of racing the DR Nova, we got CC loaded up. We're actually taking her over to Brad's house today, and we're gonna go ahead and start getting everything mocked up for the turbos, the twin turbos. I've got the twin turbos and all the piping and everything loaded in the back of the car, so we're gonna get her over there and try to figure out a way to kind of hold the turbos up where we want to put them. We hadn't really discussed how we're going to do that, but we're going to try to figure out a way to kind of hold the turbos on either side of the engine bay where we want them, so then after I leave, Brad can just start building pipe to them. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on this moment, and I know this because you're constantly dropping comments asking me when we're doing the twin turbos. Well, here's your answer. I was really wanting to play around with the nitrous a little more, you know, before we did the turbo setup, but when the fuel pump went out on the car, and yeah, I know I haven't updated you guys on that, but you know, Ray had the idea that maybe it could have been the fuel filter clogged up, which was a dang good idea. So I went and I got a fuel filter and put on it, and it's still the same issue. Key on with the car off, I'm only getting about 16 psi fuel pressure. With the car running, I'm only getting like 26. So one of two things is going on. Either that, you know, that cheap pump that was in the tank, either it's just not doing great anymore, or it's also possible the line in the tank between the pump and the sending unit may have split, because I can't find any leaks anywhere else on the car. Another possibility is always the fuel pressure regulator on the rail, but I hardly ever see those go out, so I'm really leaning towards the pump or the tank. But either way, I decided I did not want to drop the tank and just put another pump in it when, you know, I'm planning on upgrading the entire fuel system anyway. So that's when I made the decision. I called my cousin Brad and I was like, hey, you ready for this car? And he said to bring it over. So I figure while he's working on that, that'll give me time to gather the rest of the parts for the new fuel system, and also give me some time to work on the China bed a little bit, and, you know, maybe even the DR Nova a little bit as well. So, you know, that's kind of the backstory on that, guys. Like I said earlier, though, I'm sure a lot of you guys are happy to see this finally happening, and I don't know how long it's going to take. Brad's just going to be working on it after work, stuff like that. But hopefully it won't take too long. I'm thinking maybe next weekend I'll go over and help him too. So he's got two jobs with this car. He's got the hot side to build, and then once the hot side's built, I'm going to go over there and we're going to plan out the cold side. And instead of just using a ton of couplers and pre-bent aluminum pipe, I'm probably going to have him weld some of the pipes together so we don't have as many couplers in the system, and it's, you know, just less stuff to blow apart under boost. Yeah, in case you missed the last video on these Chinese up and forward turbo headers, you got to bore all the holes out to a 1/2 inch because they don't line up. You bore them all out, then it gives you enough slop to actually put the damn things on.
Oh, go daddy. Mr. Go Daddy.
He's been doing competitions.
Oh, hell.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, like 3-gun or?
I just do pistol right now.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I did borrow my buddy's AR with a can on it.
Yeah.
I was shooting like 200 or 300 meters with it.
Hell yeah.
It's like wham.
You kind of look like Doc Holliday, the sick one.
So, Ray, what I'm thinking is somewhere around in this area. Gonna be kind of where we want to go with it.
You're gonna have to go ahead and cut this off back as far as you can.
Yeah, to start fresh over there.
This one not loose?
Not as loose as the other one. I know one thing, the down pipe off these some bitches ain't gonna be very long at all. It's only gonna be about 2 foot long.
That'll bring me up considerably.
I believe if you cut this off,
Let's get these heater hoses out of the way here real quick. I'm gonna shove them underneath this.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're gonna have to cut that out and get that trued up. Sitting on a 45. Cause you're gonna need every damn bit of that room.
Yeah.
And I might have to shorten this up.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the shorter you make this and the less angle we put on it, the higher the turbo will be, so it might match the other side.
it's even all the way around there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I marked it last time.
All right. But it's on a bend. So, well, that would make it throw it off. It's putting it in a different degree.
Yes.
Like this. Okay.
Cause it's already in the
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So like if that's a 45, you cut that off, it could be like a 35 or a 40.
And right there is about how high this is going to put it.
And that seems kind of low.
It's going to be about there. Well, it depends on which way you turn this.
I got you.
See if you can put it over here on the side, maybe.
You got that in there.
Going in.
About like it.
Yeah. That other one you might have to do a little bit to it.
But I'm gonna have to cut that line off just to get. I need that half
Because
inch.
you gotta, yeah, to get it to go back further.
Mm-hmm. Grab it 45.
I'll tell you what
I might do too.
If you cut this off, like right there's the same size pipe.
Yeah.
If you cut it off just a quarter inch behind the same size pipe, you might be able to get this in it. Or
Maybe. I don't know if I'd go a quarter inch. Because your blade's going to take off about an eighth.
yeah,
I'd just mark it where I wanted it.
Yeah.
Run that blade down to there.
and let it be the
Because I could take that sanding disc and
sander to where
get her back a little further if I needed to.
Yeah, I believe that's what I do. You want
I've
this header
cut-
back off? To get it?
Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that flange off first and foremost. And then I'll put my wrap on it and mark it.
It's looking like this is where everything's gonna go, guys. Got this turbo's gonna be a little bit further back, but that's good because it'll clear the power steering box for the drain. This is gonna be a little bit further forward, but I think we're good. Well, that escalated quickly in a good way. So the plan was supposed to be Ray and I were gonna take the car over to Brad's house today, and we were just gonna sit around and, you know, kind of discuss the plans, what we were gonna do. Well, we get over there, we get the car in the garage, and next thing I know, tools are out and, you know, we're cutting stuff up. So you guys saw in that last clip, we pretty much figured out where the turbos are going. We've already cut the headers, cut the pipe. The only thing, so here's the deal, guys. If you notice in the video I took earlier, if you notice, the driver's side turbo is actually further back. They're both about the same height, but the driver's side is going to be a little further back than the passenger side. And the reason for that is the steering box is underneath, and if we bring the driver's side forward to kind of match the passenger side, then what happens is the drain line, I can't run a 45 off the bottom of the turbo. I would have to run a 90, which is not a good thing to do for a drain line. So also the upper radiator hose on the driver's side is only about, like where the turbo is now, it's only about an inch or so away from the exhaust housing on the turbo, which is also not good, but we're going to be running turbo blankets, so you know, not a real big deal. Now the passenger side, from what you saw in the video, Brad's actually going to be able to shorten the angled piece of pipe coming off the header. He's going to be able to shorten that about another inch to an inch and a half. So that is going to move the passenger side turbo back toward the engine a little more, so it'll look a little more symmetrical. But I'm not really worried about it being totally symmetrical, guys. I mean, when you face the turbos toward each other, opposite directions, it's not going to be symmetrical anyway, because they're not mirror image turbos. So the turbine housing, you know, is going to spin a different way, and that's why the one header is going to come straight out and the other one has to go down at an angle to meet the housing, for those of you who don't know. But I'm pretty happy with it. The plan is to go back over there this weekend and hopefully knock out the whole hot side. And if the hot side goes really smoothly, then you know, we may get started on the cold side too. I think I said it earlier in the video when we were on our way to Brad's, but I'm going to try to get Brad to weld as much of the aluminum cold side piping together as possible, so I don't have to have just a ton of couplers. Ideally, if I could make it to where the only coupler on the cold side from the turbo to the intercooler was just one at the turbo and one at the intercooler, then, you know, that's the way I want it. But I'm excited. We've actually got a good start on it. And as far as the symmetrical thing, guys, in the future, we're going to be tubing the front end, not the entire front end, but just from probably the shock towers forward. We're going to be doing a tube kit, and at that point we'll be able to move the radiator even further forward, and we'll also be going to a manual rack, getting rid of the steering box. So, you know, once we're able to move the radiator even further forward and go to a manual rack, at that point we can extend the driver's side turbo out and make them, you know, more symmetrical. But for now, I couldn't be more happy with what we got figured out. So Brad's actually going to move his welder. His welder is up in, he's got, like, you know, he's got the main garage where he's keeping Chaos Theory, and he's doing that for me, so I don't freak out, because his the workspace he usually uses is more like a pole barn, and it's open, and, you know, all kinds of critters, squirrels, rats, you know, possums, they all get in there. And I didn't want to have to worry about, you know, something getting in and chewing up the harness on CC. So he talked to his wife Alicia, and you know, she agreed to let us do the work in the main house garage there. But over the next couple days, he's going to move all his welding equipment down to the garage there. So when I go back over there this weekend, you know, we'll be able to start tacking stuff together. And as far as what you guys just saw, I mean, he's going to cut another inch off that one pipe, or inch and a half, and then we can go ahead and tack that together, and the turbos will be mounted, guys. They'll already be hanging there. From that point, all we've got to do is build the exhaust pipes to go out the holes we already have. As far as the wastegates, we're still up in the air about that, and you can put comments how you think we should do it below. I don't want to tie the wastegates into the main exhaust pipe, just because it usually leads to cracking. And I don't want, because the metal expands at different rates, and I don't want to use any bellows. So the wastegates are going to have their own exhaust, but as far as where I should put them, I've got two options I'm thinking about, guys. The first one is to just use a hole saw, and somewhere close to the holes we already have cut for the main exhaust, punch out a 2.5 inch hole in each fender. And so the wastegate will be coming out there, maybe even at the top of the fender instead of at the bottom where the regular exhaust comes out. The other option that I was thinking about that I really don't want to do is I thought about just running the wastegate straight up out of the hood. Just having a 2-inch hole or a 2.5 inch hole on each side of the hood with the wastegates exiting there. The bad thing about that is, you know, if you blow the engine or if you start pulling some oil or something, it's going to shoot all over the windshield. And so I'd really rather run them out the side, but you guys can go ahead and tell me what you think about it in the comments below. You know, do you think I should run them out the bottom of the fender, the top of the fender, or out the hood? But that's pretty much it, guys. I was really excited to make this video for you. I know a lot of you guys have been hammering me about when are you starting the twin turbos. Well, they're started, guys. We have officially started. This weekend we'll be going over and knocking out as much as we can. As soon as we get the hot side and the cold side done, then the car will come back to my house. I'll knock out the oil lines. We're actually going to have to at least pull the engine off the mounts for that. We'll talk about that in a future video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you're excited to see the twin turbos go on CC, yeah, by all means hit the thumbs up. If this is your first video, make sure you check out the playlist of the Chaos Theory Camaro. We've got other vehicles on the channel, guys. You know, most of you know this. We've got different playlists for every vehicle we've built, so check that out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching. Get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.